Spider-Man is finally back, but this time, everything feels different. No Avengers, no Tony Stark, no friends remembering Peter Parker, just one lonely Spider-Man trying to survive in New York. And honestly, this might be the most emotional Spider-Man story we've seen in years. After the ending of Spider-Man: No Way Home, Peter Parker lost everything. The entire world forgot who he was. No MJ, no Ned, no normal life anymore. And that's exactly where Spider-Man: Brand New Day begins. The movie opens with Peter living alone in a tiny apartment in New York. He's struggling to pay rent, doing small jobs during the day, and fighting crime every night. The best thing about this setup is that the movie feels grounded again. There are no crazy multiverse explosions in the beginning, no giant sky beams, no world-ending threats. It's just Spider-Man protecting normal people on the streets of New York, and honestly, that classic street-level vibe is exactly what fans wanted for years. Now let's talk about Tom Holland, because this is probably his best performance as Spider-Man so far. In previous movies, Peter always felt young, excited, and sometimes dependent on Tony Stark's technology. But here he feels older, more tired, and emotionally broken. You can actually feel the loneliness in his performance. Some of the quiet scenes hit harder than the action scenes. There are moments where Peter is sitting completely alone in his apartment, looking at the city through the window, and you can literally feel the weight on his shoulders. The action in this movie is incredible. The swinging scenes through New York look cinematic and realistic at the same time. Marvel clearly improved the CGI because Spider-Man's movements feel smoother and more natural than before. The fight scenes are also much more brutal. Spider-Man gets hit hard in this movie, and after every fight you can feel his pain and exhaustion. That makes the action feel more real and emotional instead of just looking cool. The villain in this movie is also very interesting because the story focuses more on psychological pressure than pure destruction. Instead of just trying to destroy the city, the villain attacks Peter emotionally. And that works perfectly because Peter is already mentally broken after losing everyone he loves. The movie constantly reminds us that Spider-Man's biggest battle has never been physical strength. It's responsibility, guilt, and sacrifice. One of the strongest parts of the movie is definitely the emotional moments connected to MJ. Even though she doesn't remember Peter anymore, you can still feel that emotional connection between them. There's a cafe scene in the movie that honestly feels heartbreaking. Peter wants to tell her the truth so badly, but at the same time he knows that bringing her back into his life could put her in danger again. That scene perfectly shows what Spider-Man is really about: sacrifice. Another thing this movie does really well is making Spider-Man independent again. No Iron Man suits, no billionaire technology, no Avengers support. This finally feels like the classic Spider-Man from the comics, a young hero struggling alone while still trying to save people every single day. New York itself also feels alive again. The city feels important in the story instead of just being background CGI. But the movie isn't perfect. Some side characters don't get enough screen time, and a few scenes in the middle feel slightly slow. There are also moments where Marvel adds jokes during emotional scenes, and sometimes that weakens the serious tone. That's still one of Marvel's biggest problems. Still, the ending of this movie feels powerful because it sets up a completely new future for Spider-Man. This no longer feels like the story of a teenager becoming a hero. It finally feels like the beginning of the real Spider-Man journey. A lonely hero who sacrifices his own happiness to protect others. Overall, Spider-Man: Brand New Day is emotional, grounded, exciting, and surprisingly mature. It's not just another superhero movie. It's a story about loneliness, responsibility, and sacrifice. And honestly, this might be one of the strongest Spider-Man movies in recent years. I'd personally give the movie an 8.5 out of 10. If you're a Spider-Man fan, this movie is absolutely worth watching. So what did you think about the movie? Did Marvel finally fix Spider-Man, or do you still prefer the older movies? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Hollywood movie reviews and ending explained videos.